Thank you for tuning in to Investment Insight presented by McCay Wealth Advisory. My name is Hayden Proffitt, and joining us today we have Brent McCay. Brent, a really hot button political topic lately, immigration and the U.S. economy. Talk to us about how those two things go together.
So obviously, legal immigration is the best way in finding the workforce, but we look at our country, we have a labor shortage. And people are not immigrating to China or Russia right now. There's a reason for that. And people tend to immigrate where there's opportunities, where there's a chance to get something and maybe hopefully work for something as well. And so when we look at the Kansas City Fed, they just put an article out on immigration, and they talk about some of the data points. And what they're seeing is, immigration, hit kind of a peak in 2016 of a little bit over 1 million people. And now we think that immigration's over 3 million people in 2024. And this is having an outside effect on inflation and the labor market. What you're seeing is when you've got job openings and you've got millions of more people here to fill them, well, those jobs are getting filled. And it also means that wages are going down too. And so what you see whenever you bring in a bunch of immigrants, you don't have that same pressure to pay people more money.
Right.
And so for investors, how this really affects things is when companies don't have to pay more money for people, they make more money. And also it creates more demand for housing and services as well. So what you're seeing is as more immigrants are coming in the country, it is causing about almost a 1% decrease in wages. Now, why this matters so much to the Federal Reserve and to investors is if inflation goes down, which wages is the number one driver of inflation. Labor is the most expensive thing for every business.
Oh yeah.
If wages go down, inflation tends to go with it. Now it's also a negative for other parts of the country because there are certain parts of the country that maybe have a lot higher unemployment rate. And a lot of those companies might relocate to those areas because they need more people. So what it does do is causing a trend where certain parts of the country you're seeing more rapid economic growth than others.
Right. One specifically, the leisure and hospitality industry.
Yes.
So I'm reading this and it says that more than 5.5% percentage points that job employment rates increased by immigrants and job vacancies decreased by 4.4. That's a large jump.
Yeah, so if you look at, leisure hospitality or, food services, hotels, a lot of those jobs are being fulfilled by immigrants.
Right.
And there's a real shortage there. And if you look at the millennial generation, they value experiences over anything. And so even though things like housing have dropped off and other parts of the economy have slowed down, travel and airports have not slowed down. We saw a record high, in airport travel recently, and that just keeps growing. And so, a lot of immigrants are filling those jobs.
Right. And that's one of those things that because those jobs are getting filled by them, the vacancies are no longer there.
Correct. And that's why we probably won't see meaningful change on the political front, which we're more talking about the investment front, because industry wants them. But the truth of it is industry wants them, and it is causing wages to go down, which is good for corporate profits, but, may influence, your election decisions, but it is overall been a positive for investment profit.
Well, it's one of those things. It's always a balance, right? How much immigration versus wage growth and different other factors in there that how do you set the policies in the election in order to maximize investors and set right political policy?
Exactly. And that's why, legal plan would be the best solution, but the Federal Reserve is noticing that one of the main drivers for a reduction in inflation this year has been the increase in labor coming to America.
Right. Well, thanks for talking to us about the immigration and the potential effects that it has on the U.S. economy and how it affects that. And thank you for tuning in today to Investment Insight. We hope you have a great day.